Welcome to Arithmophobia No More for part 2 of our Math Minutes lesson on basic division. We're going to be adding symbols to the work we already did in the first video in this series. So we want to think about the same three things that we were talking about in the first video, and that would be, what are we counting? What do we want to know about what we're counting? And the last one is we're going to count the biggest ones first. So over here we have this rectangle, and this rectangle is 12 squares total, and it has 3 across, and it has 4 down. That's pretty simple. That's it. So we're going to go over here, put our 4 above the 2. If we are doing long division, multiply the 3 times the 4, and we have 0 as our answer, or as our remainder. That's it. That's how easy it is to write the symbol. So here we have another group of blocks, and we have 3 across. That's all we know so far, so we're going to ask the same questions that we always ask. What are we counting? What do we want to know about what we're counting? And we're going to count the biggest ones first. So let's just count up these blocks, starting with the biggest ones, which are the 10s on top, and let's count those. We have 10, 20, 30, and then we're going to go down to the pink ones. We have 3, 6, 9. So we have 30 and 9, and that's 39, and then we have these 2/3 at the bottom. So 39 and 2/3, so 3 2/3 is actually 2. We cut off a third. We divide that last green one into 2/3 and added it to the other 2, we would get 2 full blocks. So we have 39 plus 2 is 41. So we have a total of 41 blocks, and we want to divide that by the number 3. So we're counting 3s, and we want to know how many 3s are contained in the number 41. This is pretty simple. We're going to count on the outside. We've got 3 across plus 10 down. It's our first group of 10. We're going to put the 1 above the 4, but that's not a 1, that's a 10. And we're going to multiply that 10 times 30, and we get, or 10 times 3, and we get 30, 11 left over. And now we're going to find out how many 3s are in that 11. So let's just count. 1, 2, 3. 3 3s. So we'll put a 3 above the 1, multiply that. We're going to get 9. We subtract from 11, we get 2. We can either have this as a remainder, or we can do right down here as 2/3. That's it. Next problem. So here we have another group of blocks, and we have 3 across again. And we're just going to count, again, the biggest ones first. And so those are the hundreds. So let's count those. We have 3 100s, so that's 300. And down below that, we have 4 groups of 10, of 3 10s, so that's 30, 60, 90, 120. So we have 420, so right, 300 and 120 is 420, and we have 6 more, 426, right? That last little group down there is 6, plus we have 2 remaindered over here, because we're not going to put those in as 2/3, we're going to just leave those as our remainder. So we have 428, and we're going to divide that by 3. So we're counting 3s, and we want to know how many 3s are contained in 428. So let's count down. So we have our first number that we have here is, we have 100 down, and we're going to put our 1 above our 4, and we're going to multiply that 100, not 1, the 100 times 3, and we get 300. That's indeed what we have in this group up here at the top. We're going to subtract that. We get 128, and we want to know how many 3s are contained in 128. Well, if we count down, we can see that there are 43s in 128, right? We just counted 1, 2, 3, 4 10s. And so that's 40, and we're going to put the 4 above the 2 and multiply that. 4 times, not 4, 40 times 3 is 120. We put that in there. We're going to subtract. We have 8 left, And now we want to know how many 3's are contained in the number 8, right? What are we counting? We're counting 3's. What do we want to know? We want to know how many 3's are contained in the number 8. Well, if we count down on our blocks, we can see that there are 2 3's in 8, and we will put our 2 above our 8. At the very top, multiply 2 times 3, we'll get 6 with a remainder of 2. Now we can make that 2/3, or we just leave this as remainder 2, and that's what we're going to do today. And that's it. That is how we're going to add symbols to the blocks. And if you want to see more, go to arithmophobianomore.com. We'll see you next time on a Math Minutes lesson.